Didn't see you. My name is Lane Fowler. You might recognize me as that quiet kid who sits on the left side of the classroom. Right there. Tell him hey. Oh, you nut. I was just reading one of my favorite books. Let me read you a quick passage. There is a name for people who are not excited about their work. Unemployed. But enough about that. What I really want to talk to you today about is three major things. Major global media companies, the evolution of the blockbuster, the average cost of producing, marketing, and distributing a blockbuster. Major global media companies. There are 6 of them. I like to call them the Big Six. Time Warner, Disney, Viacom, Sony, News Corp, and NBC Universal. The evolution of the blockbuster. Since the death of disco, a film's revenue depends on theatrical release, home video, the VHS, cable TV, soundtrack, and tie-in merchandise. 95% of the time, films make any money.
Go.
95% of the time, films make any money. It's with all these markets tied together. That's how they make their revenue. A great example of this would be Batman and Robin, 1997. Dog shit movie. That movie was made for the merchandise. Movie attendance went up from 500 million to 1 billion in the 80s. At the very least, top 10 films made $135 million to $220 million at the US box office. These foreign box office sales began to equal or surpass domestic box office sales. People like Schwarzenegger and Stallone pulled in bigger crowds abroad than at home. The prime audiences that were going to see this were young people between the ages of 12 and 29. These audiences made up 75% of moviegoers. They wanted to see things like TV pop stars, simple stories displaying humor, physical action, awesome special effects, edgy violence, and profanity. Studio execs had little to no experience in film business and hated analyzing scripts or hashing out plot details. Producers and writers began to pitch ideas to studios differently. Here's an example of 48 Hours. A cop springs a con from prison to help track down a killer, and along the way, 2 sworn enemies become best buds. Here's an example of Speed. Die Hard on a bus. Major execs began to spend more and more on promotion of the film and the actual production itself. Big budget equals big fucking risk. A $100 million movie has to gross at least $100 million movie at least have... God. My cave.
Happy place.
It's just so frustrating sometimes, There's these things called sleepers. What they are is they're movies that studio execs think are gonna suck, and they wind up being awesome. Example, Borat. Example, Mean Girls. Thanks for watching. Wipe this down!